Having a gay son is like Christmas every day because we always keep the Yuletide gay.
Welcome to GayTalk 2.0, the ultimate podcast for your dose of dish.
Ho, 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 ho. Welcome back, ladies and gents, to another episode of GayTalk 2.0, an LGBT podcast. We're streaming live on our YouTube channel for all of our Patreon subscribers, where you can access that live stream if you're a Patreon subscriber today, live, while we're doing our show, and for everyone else, the following week. Anyway, we're excited to be back. My name is Tom, and I'm your host, and as always, I'm in the studio with my amazing co-host, starting, well, with the only one in the studio so far.
Hey, y'all, Nick or Trish.
And, Jay Bear, a.k.a. your boyfriend's boyfriend. She's not here yet. But anyway, we're back. Welcome to The Dish. This is our holiday edition of The Dish because, you know,
It's the holidays.
It's the holidays. That's right. We're coming up on Christmas. It is this upcoming weekend. I'm excited. You're traveling. We're doing so many things.
I know.
I'm not going to know what to do with myself. I'm off from karaoke for the next 2 weeks.
That's great, though. Enjoy it.
It is. Because, as you know, when was the last time I took a day off from karaoke? Hosting. It's been a while. It would only be like once a year, and that when I used to go down to MAL.
Oh, yeah.
In January. That's it. And the one time we went to D.C. for the Pride March.
Did you take off for St. Patrick's Day or something, maybe?
No, I worked.
Oh.
Yeah, I've worked every St. Patrick's Day. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but no, it'll be nice. So Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve both fell on Sundays this year. So the owner and I agreed that we were not going to be doing karaoke because the last time I did karaoke,
You were not
on
supposed
New
to
Year's,
announce it.
Well, he doesn't know that.
Mm.
You know him. I'm not doing it. I'm excited about that. I'm going to talk about it. And no, the last time I decided to do karaoke on a New Year's Eve, some drunk asshole threw a microphone at me and I almost killed him.
I feel like I remember this.
Like, he was this little short guy and he was done singing and he just comes and he just goes wham and just tosses the microphone. And I caught it. And I grabbed that mic and as loud as I can right over the speakerphone, I said, "You throw that mic at me one more time and you're out of here, buddy." And I MF'd him. And everybody was just like, what the fuck is going on?
I don't miss that bar.
Oh, but you know, here we are. If you're wondering where Jay is, Jay was celebrating his mother's birthday today. He was dropping her off, so he couldn't make it for the first half, but there is a possibility that he will be here and sit with us during the second half. So that's why he's not sitting with us right now. So, Trish, you're it. How are you, darling?
I'm good. I'm fine. I mean, this month has been insane at work.
Good shows.
Yeah, we had, oh God, what did we start with? Chicago.
And that's awesome.
Then we had the New Haven Ballet's Nutcracker. Then we had
Crack away.
Christmas Carol this weekend. So I have Christmas Carol on Friday and then Saturday. And then at 7 a.m. on Sunday, I fly out. So I am dead to the world.
She's going to be dead to the world arriving in Florida. No one's going to like really care because she's going to be in the sun.
But guess what?
What? Chicken butt.
You know how we always talk about the hot tub you're getting me?
Uh-huh.
So my father finally put in a special like pump for the solar so that the hot tub is actually a hot tub.
Oh.
So I'm so excited because the first thing I'm going to do is grab a mimosa,
of course.
walk my ass into the bedroom, change, and walk right out to the hot tub. I'm sorry, that's the truth.
And he arrives at 9 a.m.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
9:30. I'll
And
probably get to my parents' house around like 10:30, 11.
Yeah. Mimosa.
Yeah,
10:30 in the morning in a hot tub.
yeah,
Don't pass out in it, okay?
that's Christmas.
Yeah, I know. Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it's a holiday tradition in my house. We always have mimosas on Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. Bring me along. Bring me on. I want mimosas. No. Speaking of, so okay, so that's one of your traditions. You have mimosas on Christmas Eve. What else do you do with your family on Christmas Eve?
We do the 7 fishes.
Oh, okay. Can you explain, for those who don't know, what the 7 fishes are?
Yeah, it's an Italian tradition, and we basically cook and eat all day, and throughout the day there are different things. We have calamari, like a salad. Usually it's a cold salad, and then we have side finocchi, which is pasta with sardines and a red sauce. And we have, oh God, I'm going to blank, but a bunch more.
A lot more.
Fish throughout the day.
They're all fish. Are you a fan of fish?
So I don't like the side finocchi, but that's the only thing I don't really like.
Don't let your parents hear that.
Oh, they know. So it's basically, it's sardines in a red sauce with breadcrumbs, and then you put it on top of pasta, and I just never liked it.
Oh, okay.
So it's just like one of the things that I just don't eat.
Yeah, my grandmother used to eat sardines, like straight up. I was like, good for you, girl.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I was never a fan either.
No. And then at midnight, we have fringelica and sausage. Because you can have fish, you can have meat after midnight.
Okay. So I thought maybe you did 7 fishes because that's just the thing that Italians do. Is there a religious
it's an
reason?
Italian Catholic thing.
So you're not supposed to
eat meat until Christmas Day.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because of, oh God, what was his name? Jesus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the Last Supper or whatever. So they didn't eat meat. They had fish.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, I like it. I mean, we all hang out. We eat a lot of food. And, yeah, just enjoy one another. Honestly, like, it's funny because over the years, when you're a kid, everything is about the presents, you know, the gifts under the tree. And then as I've grown up, it's become more about the company and the food, which I really appreciate. So, like, now we don't really exchange gifts. I'll get something little for my parents, maybe something little for Amanda. She did get me something small, so we'll each have something to exchange, but it's about the food and the company. It's not about what did they get me, what should I get them,
right?
You know what I mean? It's about
it makes
being
sense.
together.
It makes sense, and it's the same for us. Like like I always say to my mother, please don't spend your money on me. I have more than I need, and I don't need anything else.
And then she's like, but you're gonna spend your money on me.
Yes. So no, but same for us. Mom likes to cook like she's cooking for a football team.
Well, you and your brothers are kind of.
I hate you.
A formidable force.
Yes, we are. We can eat. We can pound down. So she always makes her like pernil, or what you guys would know as like pork shoulder. She makes her rice, which I know you love, and
so I love her pernil too.
Oh, she does everything she does is good.
I know.
And I don't know what it is. She cooks with her feet, I think is what it is.
Yeah, like when she met me, I was a skinny twink, and she was like, that's not going to work.
Yeah, she's like, no, you got to look like my boys.
It's not funny. It's hurtful.
Oh, but it's fun. And so we get together, and then, we'll play games. And then, of course, my mother's a bingo addict. So we'll play bingo at her house. And then she whips out the karaoke machine, and if she's drinking, that's my gotta go, mother, because she's got 2 volumes. She can be sweet and hey, how are you, and super loud. There's no in between with her. Yeah. And so, and then I was like, all right, I'm starting to get a headache, and I gotta go. And then I just scoot out.
Yeah, I was actually really sad. So yesterday we had our company Christmas party.
Okay.
And I couldn't go.
Poor Kay.
I had a board meeting.
Okay. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it. And I was so sad because there was karaoke and Anthony sang and like everybody was singing.
And who hosted the karaoke?
I honestly, I don't know. It was at Jazzy's Cabaret.
Oh, yes. I know Jazzy's. I used to do karaoke at Jazzy's.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, they looked like they had such a good time.
Yeah. No, Jazzy's, it's a very nice restaurant. The food is delicious. The people are great. I love the owners. Morgan is my favorite, the wife. Oh, my God, she's She's life.
Yeah, I don't know them.
She is life. But I did karaoke there for about a good 9 months
Was that?
on Wednesday nights. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yep. It was there. And
I don't know if we like paid for it as an add-on,
right.
because I wasn't sure if they were doing it for the entire bar, because I think we were in a private area.
They have a lot of different areas, and that place is huge. It's humongous. And one of the best things that I love, it's a fusion of like soul food with contemporary like cuisine and like but it's Black owned and operated.
Yeah.
And I fucking love it. They truly do really good business there. The music is always, it's Jazzy's Cabaret. So you always get a very mixed fusion of jazz. They always have live bands there. They always have live artists coming in to do performances. They have a very decent small stage, and it lends itself to having a really amazing dinner experience while watching somebody sing the blues or
cool,
or jazz or whatever it is that they come on, and they book.
All right,
for
so
that
now
time.
I feel even worse that I can.
Yeah,
go.
you should have gone. You totally would have loved it. The place is gorgeous. Yeah, and it's right in the heart of 9 Square. So,
Yeah. There's a lot going on at the Pride Center, so
yeah, including a new space, right?
Yeah, new space. Budgeting for the new year. A lot of things happening. Everything's going well, but
Right.
I mean, at this kind of point in the year, when it comes to nonprofits, we're waiting on a lot of income, because a lot of foundations and corporations start their new fiscal year January 1, right? So cash flow can get a little tight. You know, right now we're actually doing okay, but I'm like, we have all this money that's pledged to come in, and I'm like, just fucking send it.
You were waiting for it, right?
Yeah.
So I was watching the news, and they were announcing that, because of all of these, anti-Semitic threats that have been happening to a lot of different synagogues and churches and et cetera, that there is a new fund available for organizations, nonprofit organizations, for safety measures that they're giving out.
Actually, it's funny that you bring that up, because we were going to be applying for funds through that fund, for lack of a better term, right? But we decided actually not to apply, because we're an entertainment venue. We've been talking about maybe doing like metal detectors or something that could help us just in case, right? Because with everything going on in the world,
Right.
and gun restrictions not being put in place, we have to protect our patrons. And so we've been talking a lot about it, but we decided not to actually apply for anything because of exactly what you're talking about. Because all of that money that's earmarked should and probably will go to those institutions that really need it and that are serving those populations that are under fire right now.
But you guys need it too.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, think about it. We had a bomb threat in the original space.
Oh, I'm talking about the Schubert.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Pride.
So the Pride Center
yeah.
is in the process of applying for that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We were talking about two completely different entities. Gotcha. No, but definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is available, and it's pretty crazy to see how things like especially around this time of year, to see how all of that is playing out, right? Like
honestly, if the government would do their fucking job, we wouldn't have to create a special fund for security.
Right.
Like, do your fucking job.
Well, see, and here's the thing, that I think that nothing that we did here at home is what's driving this anti-Semitic activity, to the exception of, like, for example, we have this war going on right now, right? You have Israel going after Hamas, and the atrocities, for better lack of term, that are being committed against the Palestinian people right now, in light of and using Hamas as a guise to get to make this happen is pretty disturbing, at least in my opinion. And because of that, you're starting to see a lot of people start attacking Jewish institutions, synagogues, and other religious entities that, like, for example, are giving space. There was a news report, for example, and I can't remember in what state it was, where a synagogue received bomb threats that day, and it was supposed to be a day that they were having a very significant service that needed to happen. And a fellow church that happens to be from a different denomination, a completely different religion, opened their doors to their people so that they could go ahead and use a space and have their services. So it's good to see, I myself am not a religious person, but it's good to see that there's camaraderie amongst different, houses of worship that come to the aid of those that feel threatened. And
well, there's actually, so the airport in New Haven, Tweed, there's a cemetery that is a Jewish cemetery that's located pretty close to the airport, and they were receiving bomb threats. And so there was a whole investigation because, not just because it was like happening, but it was also right next to an airport.
right.
And it was just like, this shit's got to stop. It's insane.
And it's crazy. And it's, there's a lot of people that are very upset, rightfully so. I mean, the U.S. currently right now is asking Congress to appropriate funds to support Israel in their attempts to end the Hamas organization. But, we need to make sure that for whatever reason, if we are approving funds, let's say from Congress, and we're going to send these funds to Israel, that they're not using them to, arbitrarily decide that, we're just going to bombard an entire neighborhood, residential neighborhood, full of young children, women, children, and citizens of Gaza that have no fault for what Hamas is doing, because you think Hamas built tunnels and is hiding under these residential spaces. I think it's just horrible. Listen, Israel, what happened in Israel is an atrocity, right? Terrorist acts were committed. People were murdered. People were killed.
It's still happening.
And it's still happening, but how they're handling the whole situation in regards to the people that are living, that have nowhere to go. You can't go anywhere. Egypt won't accept them. The borders won't open. And it is very quite tragically a sad story what's happening in Palestine right now, or at least in this small region that people know as, the Gaza Strip. And it breaks my heart every time I see the news. I just think that there's a better way to do it. And I think Israel needs to be the better person in this situation and figure out a way to how to target Hamas specifically, and not in the process of it ends up killing so many people needlessly, that are dying every day for no reason at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have enough background on what's going on over there to actually speak to it as well as I should be. But what I do know is that NATO voted for a ceasefire, and I think the United States was one of a few that voted no.
Right, vetoed it. Yeah, it's crazy. The whole situation is crazy, and that's why we're seeing all these anti-Semitic attacks here at home, and all of these threats, and the need to create funds, and it's not a good situation all around for anybody.
I can't. I just.
But anyway,
if it's not drag queens, something else.
Listen, one way or another. That being said, I'd like to talk about gifts. Gifts, yeah.
Gifts like under the tree,
or unexpected gifts that the universe gives you, like the one that Colorado just bestowed upon the American people by officially declaring, based on a ruling from their state Supreme Court, that Donald Trump cannot be a candidate on their primary ballot.
It's going to get turned over.
Yeah, and so, but the fact that they went there, that in itself is such a historic thing, right? That you have a Supreme Court of a state say that someone who is currently accused of, and for what we've seen with our very own eyes, committed an insurrection against the Constitution of the United States, you find a high court at a state that has deemed that he is not worthy of being on their ballot.
Yeah.
And,
for clarity, he's not.
Oh, he's not.
At all.
Well, actually, so here's the thing. So the ruling says that he is banned from being on the primary ballot, but because they know that this was going to obviously be appealed to the Supreme Court of the United States, that they would, until that decision is decided, allow him to be on the ballot come January 5th, I think, is when they have to, that's the deadline for them to file and make sure that the ballots get printed. It's a whole situation. Nonetheless, it took one state to actually have the guts to follow through and say that, based on the 14th, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, any high-ranking officer that commits an insurrection against the Constitution of the United States shall not serve in high office. And they took that to the literal and ruled as such. And, we expect that obviously because of the appeal that it's going to end up at the Supreme Court, but it's interesting that we don't know how that's going to play out, right? How the Supreme Court is going to rule. We do know that we have a conservative majority in the Supreme Court, but the twist is that one of the justices on the U.S. Supreme Court, Neil Gorsuch, happened to also be a justice at the state Supreme Court for the state of Colorado before becoming a justice for the Supreme Court of the United States. And interestingly enough, he had a case that came before him in the state of Colorado, and he ruled in that case. And he said then, and I quote, this is Neil Gorsuch saying, it was the case, I believe, Colorado versus Hassan, saying that it is a state's legitimate interest in protecting the integrity and practical functionings of the political process that permits it to exclude from the ballots candidates who are constitutionally prohibited from assuming office, which he stated in that opinion. This is Neil Gorsuch while he was a judge at the Supreme Court in the state of Colorado, right?
So he's saying that the state has the right to remove him.
Right. Well, this was another case. Didn't have anything to do with Donald Trump. But at the time, he stated in his majority opinion at the time that the state had a right to remove an individual from a ballot, right? Mm-hmm. And so, interestingly enough, jumpstart to 2023 now. They're about to take this case. They have to make a ruling on it, and he's about to.
But we're sure they're taking the case.
They're going to have to. They have no choice now, because you have at least 13 other states potentially doing the same thing, and they need clarity on this, right? Because they need to know if they can do this, and if Colorado is successful in having this being appealed to the Supreme Court and having the Supreme Court rule in their favor and allowing them to bar Donald Trump from the ballot, then that in a sense opens up the door for other states to do the same, right? And where they believe that he violated the Constitution by committing insurrection against the Constitution. But the reason why I bring Neil Gorsuch up is because it so happens that he's now a justice at the Supreme Court. He ruled back then in this manner, but he's going to be seeing and observing and trying this case for an individual who appointed him to that seat that he now sits on, the Supreme Court.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be beside myself if the Supreme Court rules to, overturn Colorado's ruling, mainly because this is with all of the drag bans, the book bans, the don't say gay bills, and everything that's been modeled after Florida, putting that into place in Texas and different states around the country, where the Supreme Court hasn't said anything to say, no, you can't fucking do this.
Right.
It's going to be fucking pretty evident if they come back and they're like, oh no, Colorado, you can't do this. Right. For the one fucking man. For this one man.
Right.
Meanwhile, an entire community is being put down.
Right. But
I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be for the one man, right? But like in this instance,
right. You have, for me, it's just going to be, it's the hypocrisy of it all, right? If you have a situation
that was
where,
a big word.
Yes, I know. If you have someone like Neil Gorsuch, for example, who has already opined in this fashion in some other case at a state level, protecting the rights of states. One thing we also have to keep in mind, too, is that states have sole rights to control how they run their elections.
Yeah, I mean, you remember before gay marriage.
Right.
We were so close before the actual...
Obergefell versus Hodge ruling. Right.
But they decided to let it percolate in the states more.
Right. So there are certain things that are, are states have sole power in administering. How they process their elections and how they do that is solely left to the states. And so it would be hypocritical and hugely, disappointing if someone who ruled in the past in this fashion now turns around and rules the complete opposite way and say that, no, we can't bar someone who completes insurrection.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But the problem is with, you look at Roe versus Wade, where the Supreme Court said one thing and then said something completely different and overturned it.
Right.
So, I mean, like, I have no faith.
Right.
I want to have
the
faith.
Majority of it.
Let's say this. I have hope.
Hope is good.
But faith,
hope is good.
But faith in the court right now, I don't have.
Right. Yeah, no. And you know what? You're not alone. There's a very large portion of Americans right now that don't have faith in this Supreme Court. But this is going to be very telling. Okay. Once they take this up and they decide to rule in favor of or against the ruling in the state of Colorado, it's a very, very telltale sign of what we actually have for a Supreme Court. So you're right. There's a lot of people right now that don't have faith in our court. But nonetheless, it was a very satisfying gift that Colorado gave us, even if for a brief moment.
RBG is going to throw the world off its axis because she's just rolling.
Seriously.
In her grave,
I think she's going to create her own little gravity thing.
Yeah.
Right? She's like our molten core right now spinning. She's going to develop, she might take away our moon. She's going to be like, fuck y'all. Y'all don't deserve this shit. I worked so hard.
Goodbye, currents.
So hard. And I almost made it.
Goodbye, high tide.
Right.
Goodbye, low tide.
Goodbye, moon. Goodbye, everything. Goodbye, earth. Y'all don't deserve me. Yeah. You're not kidding, but may she rest in peace.
I know.
Lord have mercy. But yes, thank you, Colorado, for that short-lived gift that you have given us this week. And we'll see how it all plays out. So 27 minutes in. We don't know where Jaybird is, but if you'd like, I think we can maybe go to break and pray that he'll get in within the next 5 minutes before we come back. What do you feel?
It's up to you.
All right. Well, why don't we do that? We'll take a break and we will be right back. All right, ladies and gents, welcome back from the break. We had an opportunity to go have a couple of shots and, get refreshed on our refreshments. And we've got all our poker players. We're ready to go. Look who's joined us for round 2. Jaybird, finally in the studio.
I'm here.
And he's here. He's queer. Wait, no. He's bi.
He's bi.
There you go.
Technically
Queerish.
still queer.
Yeah, okay. Queer-ish. Anyway, so we are back, and we were having some conversations while we were on break, and I forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about what's been going on, my little baby Fitz had surgery on Monday. Yeah. So I have 2 dogs, Oliver and
They
Fitz.
know.
And just in case they don't, you never know. We might have another, listener listening to the additional 3 that we have.
I thought it was 2.
Well, now it's 4.
Wow.
And yeah, we're making it big, girl. And so, my little baby Fitz, so I have Fitz and Oliver, needed to have surgery. So when Fitz was a baby, I fell in love with him when I went to see him because he was the only one that had his tongue sticking out.
Well, no, I feel like your soul's connected because, let's be honest, he's kind of the devil.
But he is, but he's super needy with me too. Plus, when they put all the puppies down, he was the one that came to me, so that's why
he was like,
oh, evil.
Yeah.
I know that. That looks familiar. And
I feel comfortable around him.
we can make plans together.
Yeah.
So I thought that when I was seeing something on his lip, it was his tongue, because since he was a baby, he's always
Yep.
on occasion had a little lazy tongue, and then I went to give him a cookie and I noticed that it wasn't his tongue. It was a mass that was growing on his gum line in the front, and I was like, oh, that doesn't look good. So I called the vet and I went in, and they put him down to sleep, not down. They put him to sleep, and they took out a chunk of it to send for a biopsy, and then removed the rest of it and sewed him up and got him all good and ready to go, and gave me some doggy Percocet and some antibiotics, and so he's in heaven right now. And but
No, he's not in heaven right now.
he is.
He's living his life.
He's living his best life.
His best life.
And so what ends up happening is that, so I have both dogs, and every time I bring Ollie in, right, you go on these little plans, like the doggy care plans in some of these vet places. And Ollie's fine. He goes in, he gets his yearly checkup, blah, blah, blah. I walk out. I never have to spend a dime on him. Anytime I go into the vet with it, it's a $500 affair. Doesn't matter what it is. So the care plan will include x-rays and your yearly checkup and blood work and blah, blah, blah. But then, we've got to slice this off. His ear has an infection. We need to pump this in there. And that's another $100. Here's another $200. Oh, 4 pills. That's $100. And you're like, what the fuck? It's $500 every time I walk out of that place.
It is.
He's a $500 affair kind of dog. So I'm just letting you know.
She's bougie.
She is.
Bougie.
But he's doing much better. And he's in good spirits. He bounced back up as soon as he came out of anesthesia. He was jumping around like he thought he owned the place. I was like, you do realize you're still under the influence, right? You're just going to fall off the couch at this point.
He's like, Dad, you're always on the influence.
Yeah, like all the time. And but he's doing great. He's doing great. So
Awesome.
so that happened. Yeah. That shook me for a moment there. Even though his blood work came back fine. His levels were great, liver levels, the whole 9 yards, everything they checked, he was good. No heartworm, none of that. But we don't know what the results of this biopsy is going to be because they haven't told me yet. So
Biopsy.
the biopsy.
Yes.
And in my neck
The bebopsy.
was my twin.
With the tooth.
They're coming out with number 3, right?
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see
I
it.
thought it came out already, no?
Did it?
Did they fly to Greece?
Yes, because the father passed away.
I was
Something like
talking
that,
to somebody today about
We're talking about my big fat Greek wedding, by the way.
By the way, spoiler.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody today about going to, a family holiday meal when I was a kid versus now. Now everybody's got all these restrictions and dietary restrictions. And all I said was, well, in my house, it's, oh, okay, great. You can have lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean you don't eat meat? Okay, I make you lamb.
It's okay, I'll make it.
I fucking love that movie. It's one of my favorites. And just seeing Joey Fatone from NSYNC in it, he did really good, and all the dancing and the drinking, and poor Ian Miller put some Windex on it. And then on the wedding, he goes like, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I had a pimple here too.
That was the
ending of the first movie, and she goes like, well, what happened? So he goes like, I put some Windex on it. I thought that was so cute because he found it so weird at the beginning, and the parents, oh my god,
I know.
What is it? It's a bone cake.
A bunt cake? And they put a plant in the middle.
Anyway, if you've never seen, if you're one of these new generation gays and you have not seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding, I encourage that you watch the first one. It's super funny. The second one was decent, but I'm looking forward to the third one because that whole cast is just hysterically funny. So there's that. Jay Bird.
Alrighty, hey.
We didn't get a chance to debrief you. How are you doing?
Better now.
All is well in the land of Oz?
Everything's good, yeah. So, reason I was late, today was Mom's birthday, of course.
Happy birthday, mother.
Happy.
81 years young.
Ho, ho, ho.
You know, she's blessed in many ways, I guess. Partially, I think the Alzheimer's is somewhat of a blessing some days.
How so?
Because
How so?
the shit can hit the fan sometimes with the family.
Oh.
She just, it gets crazy, and there's a lot going on right now. We had an uncle that passed, which was her sister's husband. And my mom grew up with them in Puerto Rico, but he wasn't a great uncle. if you get the rift. So secretly, a lot of people were like, "Thank God," kind of.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's how bad of
That's
that uncle.
that
Yeah.
kind of a good uncle.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Got you.
About time,
Wow.
and some other harsh words were said. My mom didn't catch any of that, which I'm happy for.
Yeah.
And then when I'm bringing her back home, she's like, "Who are all those people there? And why were they there?" She spent all day with us.
It's not funny, but it is.
yeah,
No,
It's not.
but you know how they the saying ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
I
I got it. There's times that I appreciate, the time we spend with her, but also the fact that she'll turn. My sister was with me. That's why I was running late, because I had to drop her off as well.
the nerve.
And my niece is in the back seat. She's like, "Who's that girl with us?" I was like, "That's your granddaughter." Huh? Who she belongs to?
Does she ever say
So-
that to you?
No. To me, she never really. Well, she calls me all my other brothers' names, but that's just a typical Hispanic household.
You're not lying.
So
because my mother will call.
It's also Italian.
Yeah.
They run through everybody. until they
Everybody
get
in the
you-
house. Yeah. Okay.
I got the right one.
Yeah.
Get over here.
No, sometimes she'd be like, you, asshole, you.
Mira,
Oh my God.
pendejo.
Pendejo, yeah.
The other day I was talking to do you ever you're on the phone with somebody and it could be professional or friendly, whatever, and then you accidentally hang up by saying something that you would say to your parents or your friends?
Like what?
Like, I love you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so that happened to me the other day, and I'm sitting there, and I'm with a bunch of coworkers, and I'm talking to another coworker, and it happened, and I just stopped, and everybody's like, "Did you just stroke out? What happened?" I'm like, I think he just said I love you. And they were all like, "Oh."
It's one of those days.
Yep.
Well, it happens though. It happens.
But that's
Yeah.
like how I trick, Steve to say it back to me. Every time I hang up, I'm like, "I love you," and he's like, "I love you." Fuck.
No, I had a moment with my boss today. So, the manager of our group, she's amazing. I love her. She's super cool. She's Southern. She's from Georgia. She's got a gay son, and the reason why she left Georgia was for her son, so that he could have better opportunities and be around, people that are like-minded, and sort of kind of mitigate his potential to be bullied in any way.
Yeah, but he's gonna miss those Georgia peaches if you know.
I know I'm gonna. I would miss those Georgia peaches too. But anyway, so I have been working all crazy hours, as you both know, and I think I mentioned on the show. I'm currently in a shitload of projects, and it's just been insane. I haven't had a day off in 45 days. Just put it that way. I've been working straight through, 7 days a week. My bank account is not complaining, but I am. I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
I'm talking about the hot tub fund.
So, so today we got an email from another project manager saying, "Hey, I put a meeting on the calendar for January 4th, and it's for blah 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 blah." So I screenshotted the email and I sent it to her and I said, "I cannot." I can't involve myself in one more thing. I'm exhausted. And she goes just decline it. We got this. So I did.
Okay. So let's pause you for a moment. Just decline it. We got this. Don't worry about it. A month into the project. Tommy.
Yeah.
But wait,
I
I'm not
know.
done.
That's
So
always what
I said after she says decline it, I said listen, I cannot. She writes back and she goes, no, I write back to her. I was like, you know what? If this is going to continue to happen, I'm going to crawl under a rock and I'm just not going to come out. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to go back into the closet. And she just started laughing out loud. She goes like, please don't do that. You need to like stay where you are. No, but I love her. So we're going to do drinks on Saturday. And no, it's been crazy at work. It really has. And you know, so much so that I'm working this Saturday and I'm working 4 hours on Sunday, which is Christmas Eve, to get as much as I can done before I'm off for the rest of the week. And it's insane. And, you know, the project managers for the two different projects that are due shortly had the audacity to ask me if I wanted to work Saturday and Sunday at the end of my 5 days vacation. I was like, no, bitch, I will see you on the second.
Me?
I was like, no. They asked me, did I really need my vacation? Can I just like, you know, carry it over to the new year? I was like, absolutely not. I'm using all of my PTO, all of it.
Mike, you know, it makes me crazy. My coworker came up to me today and she was telling me like, you know, I think this is what I'm going to do for the holidays and whatnot. And I'm going to take the day after Christmas off, but I don't think I'm going to put in for PTO. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Don't put in for PTO. And she's like, really? I was like, no, we have been working every weekend for the past 4 weeks. Take the fucking day.
And the discussion.
Like, you don't have to run that by me. Like, you think I'm going to be pissed? You get your job done. If you didn't get your job done, different story.
Right. Right. No, it's, you know, here's what I have to say to a lot of people out there. That PTO is part of your work schedule. Whether you're in management, you're a union employee, whatever it is, prioritize your health, prioritize your self-worth, and exercise the right to take your PTO. You've earned it. Don't let these management people, you know, guilt you into not taking time that you've earned.
American work guilt is so
it's horrible.
PTO,
and especially
prepare
around
the others, because I will not be fucking be there. Let me tell you, that was my take on it when I booked my time and I found those 2 extra days. I was like, hey, by the way, I'm not gonna be out starting Monday. I'm gonna be out starting this Thursday, because I found extra hours. And they're like, you're not going to carry anything? I was like, no, that's what PTO's there for.
Yeah.
Prepare the others.
Yeah.
Let them know I'm not going to be here.
Put them bitches on check, because it's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
And, you know, like, I think that, so obviously, you know, I'm going to work Christmas Eve. I'm going to go to my house, to my mom's house. We're going to do all the food. We were talking about the 7 fishes and things that we do on New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve. And then when I get home, Monday and Tuesday, I'm just going to just pass out for 2 consecutive days and not think about the world.
So funny, because my dad literally just sent me a picture of the heater hooked up.
I cannot.
For the spa.
Oh,
so my parents have lived in this house for, God, since I was a sophomore in college. And every year.
In Louisville? Did I say right?
Well, no, I was in college in Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
But every year I'm like, Dad, you had them build a pool.
Mm-hmm.
And in the pool, there's a spa. But there's no spa heater. He's like, well, during the day it gets hot. I'm like.
But what about at night?
Yeah, but like, you want to sit in the spa at night.
Do you have a spare bedroom? I feel like I'm just going to hop on a plane and come down and see you.
Not really, but.
We can sleep in the same bed. Your parents won't mind. They know we are not going to do anything. Carl, listen.
But now he finally hooked up he got a thing and he hooked up the heater, and I'm just like.
Finally.
It's official.
My mom was bitching. She's like, your father's rushing this whole process because he wants you to come down for Christmas. I'm like, well, I'm definitely coming down now.
Oh, well, that's so nice of him, though.
Well, I've been bitching about it for years.
Well, you finally see all that bitching pays off eventually.
I know.
Who said it doesn't?
Hot tub.
Hello.
Hot tub.
I got a hot tub. It's not in the right state, but.
She needs to get her own house for that shit.
Oh, God.
I tried to convince her to buy the house next door, and she just didn't move.
I couldn't afford it at the time.
I know. But we'll get there eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, we will.
Yeah.
But I got to find the right place. It's got to be turnkey. I'm not a handy homo like you. We know this.
But if I'm your neighbor, you just have to just call me, Tom. Just bring the drill.
But I'm also impatient.
Tom, just bring the drill.
It needs to be turnkey. Maybe a project or 2.
Yeah, but you know, it's like all you have to do is just wave a bottle of tequila. I mean, I'm in.
That's true.
I forget about the world.
Like Flynn.
Like Flynn.
Mhm.
Yeah, no. So
And while I break things here, he'll just fix them at my place.
that is true. That is true. All right. So I'm glad that we're all here, but I wanted to talk about something. We talked about during the first half, the gift of Colorado giving us the banishment of the dump from their ballot, and how that's going to end up at the Supreme Court and, potentially be overturned. The decision that was made at the High Court of Colorado in the High Court of the U.S. But now I want to talk about something a little bit closer to home here in the state of Connecticut. Some time ago, there was a decision made in the state of Connecticut that would allow trans athletes to participate in sports, in school sports, in whatever sport that coincided with whatever gender they identified with. So if you were a transgender male to female, you could participate in female sports. And that caused quite a huge commotion in the state. There was a lot of lawsuits that were filed as a result of that. And, a lot of litigation happened, things happened. And in the end, the court ruled that they could. And the state of Connecticut was one of the few states that would allow transgender students to participate in sports in the gender in which they identified with. Well, an old court decision, the court has revised the Connecticut case challenging its policy allowing trans girls to compete in girls' sports. A federal appeals court has revived a case brought by 4 cisgender women in Connecticut over the state policy that allows transgender athletes to participate in sports based on their gender identity. The Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled Friday that the case should return to the district court for a consideration. In the 48-page ruling, the court said that plaintiffs have the legal right, known as standing, needed to bring the suit and have presented sufficient evidence to seek a monetary damages. In the lawsuit that which was originally filed in 2020 on behalf of Selena Soleil, Chelsea Mitchell, Alana Smith, and Ashley Nicoletti, who were the high school athletes, they claimed that in their lawsuit that the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference, the CIAC policy, was a violation of Title IX, which bars discrimination on the basis of sex. In their suit, the runners said allowing transgender girls to participate in girls' track and field is a violation of Title IX because it puts students who were born female at a disadvantage as they have fewer opportunities to win and receive public recognition than transgender female students.
It's very interesting that 4 females are saying that women, females that are born female and now identify as male and compete in...
No, the opposite. So transgender women who were originally born as males and then are now transgender women are participating in women's sports, and these four individuals who happen to be cisgender women are suing because they're saying that they're at a disadvantage because essentially they're competing against what they believe to be men, in a sense, and that because of that fact,
They have that advantage.
they have an advantage over them being females. And for me, when I first read about this, 3 years ago, it was disturbing in the sense because, we're talking about school sports and we're talking about a time in one's life and where you're still trying to figure things out, right? No matter whether you're transgender, you're cisgender, you as an individual have a right to be who you want to be and do what you want to do. And transgender women would not fare well participating and running against cisgender men, right?
Correct.
Nor do they,
Or,
or
I
should
mean-
they be expected to use a bathroom which coincides with the sex in which they were born to, right? So you wouldn't say, for example, someone who is a transgender woman going to school in Connecticut should use a boys' bathroom because that's what they were born at birth with, right? They would still need to go to the women's bathroom. Can you imagine a guy walking into a bathroom and finding a transgender woman there, because unfortunately that's the bathroom that she has to use because that's what the school says you have to. That would be quite an interesting interaction, right? Because this individual would walk in and for all intents and purposes would find a female in the men's room and be like, okay, what the fuck is going on? And could be potentially an issue that causes, harm to the person who's there, the transgender woman who's in that bathroom, because she's forced to use that bathroom, would put her in a situation where her life could be in danger, right? She could be bullied. She can be victimized for being in a bathroom, for being looked at differently. Teens can be very vicious. We know this from experience going to schools here, and in whatever capacity we went to school in different areas of this country, and even like in Puerto Rico for in my experience, you can't count on youngsters to make the right decision or to have logical thought in situations like this. And so
you also have to keep in mind that in the collegiate sense, right? A lot of the
he's using big words.
A lot of the students that are competing in athletics in high school are looking for those opportunities to move into college, to a college career with athletics. So I kind of see where their argument comes in, where they feel that they're at a disadvantage, especially if they're looking as this is one of their main ways of getting into a good university or college.
Yeah, with like scholarships.
Yeah, scholarships
Right.
and So I kind of see where they're coming from with that, and it's
a catch-22.
It's a catch-22 because you want to provide that, you want to provide that support. But I see as a female, they're standing back and they're saying, we're competing against a guy, even though the person is going through their changes. But that's the way they see it.
I agree with you. I mean, they're competing against an individual who was born
a man. Yeah.
A man. Yeah.
So and unfortunately, I mean, I'm the way I'm wording it is the way they're viewing it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm not doing it to be mean, but
I'm trying not to say anything.
Yeah.
Well, see,
it's tough.
I'm trying not.
It's tough, but
I find that I wanted to talk about the article to bring awareness of what's going on, right? And especially because it's in our backyard. But we are not. I'm not a member of the transgender community, so I can't speak for someone who is transgender. Aside from some of the things that we've seen, right? Some of the hardships.
We should have somebody on.
We should have someone talk about their experiences, especially if there's someone that that happens to be in sports or had been in sports in school and can really add significant value to this type of conversation. But nonetheless, it's very troubling that we have four cisgender women attacking the rights of other individuals that happen to still be transgender individuals, that they're part of our community, that we have to support.
There's also another layer, so for example, you have these four girls who are bringing this case to the court, but there are potentially a lot of schools and a lot of states where they could be accepted to prestigious schools with scholarships where a transgender individual wouldn't either feel comfortable or be accepted on to a team which they identify with.
Right.
So both sides have disadvantages.
yeah, that's a
Right.
catch.
Right.
It's a catch.
So like you said, this school happens to allow you to do it, but you could, potentially move to another state doesn't allow you to do that. And so,
but I would also too put it if we're talking about school specific and scholarships, I would put the onus really on the recruiters too, right? Because if somebody openly identifies a certain way, I feel like, you would be mindful.
You should be mindful.
Right.
But you also have to remember that people
are assholes.
Are assholes. And on top of that, they got to meet a quota.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But it's also worth noting too that, the lawsuit that was brought by these four individuals the federal district court at the time, the judge had dismissed the case in April of 2021, saying that the girls' request to block the policy was moot because the two transgender athletes mentioned in the suit had graduated in 2020, and there was no indication that the plaintiffs would again compete against these transgender athletes in the state. Right. So
I think they were just maybe either being bigoted or trying to put something in place so it wouldn't happen again.
Right. And so they were using their experience as a means to try to block other transgender students from ever being able to do so. But it's like you're bringing a lawsuit, and the people that, got you to that point where you have to file a lawsuit against two students are no longer students. They graduated, they're gone. So, I mean, if you were saying, hey, you're at a disadvantage, you still have now another 2 years or 3 years, whatever the case may be, depending on where you fall, on whether you're a freshman, junior, senior, so I missed a level there. Sophomore?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's still opportunity for you. Like, them graduating really didn't take away that opportunity for you to, like, make yourself known as an athlete if that's what you were looking to do. But again, you are correct, right? We need to invite someone to come on the show and really talk about the experience from a trans perspective. In my opinion, I feel that what these four cisgender women are doing is wrong because, we're talking about brothers and sisters that belong to our community, and we're fighting for our rights. We're fighting for our right to exist, our right to be in all spaces. And,
But
things like this.
They're no longer athletes either, the girls. They're no longer athletes.
Yeah. So whatever the
High
case
school
may be.
athletes. So.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
There's something underlying there.
Right. And so I feel that, there could be some coaching happening here. And where they're coaching these four individuals to be the face of a lawsuit that has much more support from an underground group of people who are trying to push an agenda. That's what I believe. Because if they're no longer there, what's your problem? Right? You wanted to show off that you were an athlete, and you want to compete against people that you saw, that you thought you had an advantage over you. They're gone. Prove yourself.
Well, I also think of it too this way. It's, on the flip side, if there's a trans male competing with other males, technically, in some cases, they could potentially be at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, I would really,
I hate to say it should be a wash, but I mean, it's.
But what I think,
it's ridiculous.
What I would be interested to hear is like the perspective from both a male and female transgender athlete, and if somebody were to approach them with, well, now I'm at a disadvantage, or now you're at a disadvantage, what
do they say?
What do they say?
How do you handle that?
How do you handle that? And then also, like, beyond handling it, it's like, for lack of better term, how do you make your case?
Right.
Because I think that whomever identifies however should be able to compete in
whatever sport they want.
Right. But like we've been saying, it is a double-edged sword. It's a catch-22, and
some people will make the argument, with women's rights.
Yeah,
as well.
but
you want equality. This somewhat falls into those into that same category. So,
but we also need education and like the concept or terminology to then say, well, actually, they're not at a disadvantage, and this is why. And
you also have to think about too that for the most part, members of the transgender community, specifically male to female transgender individuals, are taking blockers, right? They're on hormone therapy. Their physical,
their physiology is changing
completely. Their hormonal composition is different.
That doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to be 6 foot.
I'm gonna fly down this course and beat your ass. But you know, so there's a lot of things to take into account, and I think that we could have a much more well-informed conversation if we invite some people to come and talk about their experiences. So I'm gonna leave that up to you.
Obviously, I'll do some bookings for the new year.
And while we're doing that, I want to take a moment to recognize one of our biggest trans advocates in the state of Connecticut, I believe, to be celebrating a birthday today, Tony Furiello. Happy motherfucking birthday, darling.
Hey, he's a twin.
He's a twin?
Yes, he is.
I did not know that.
Yes, and his brother also went through the transition.
Stop
They
it.
both did, yes.
That is awesome. I did not know that. Well, happy birthday to both of you.
So, yeah, I always
I
tell
love Tony,
Tony,
though.
happy birthday, Tony, and also to your carbon copy. Because I've never met his brother in person.
So, you know, Tony came into the studio and sat with us about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, I've heard.
We had a very, very insightful conversation. That is where I first learned the term dead name, right? And that it wasn't cool to ask people what their dead name was. I learned so much.
That's when I started at the bar asking individuals, like, what do you go by?
Right.
What's your name?
I think it's important. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we have one of his books around here somewhere.
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh my God.
Everything fell.
She's a hot mess.
So, Artistic Expressions of Transgender Youth by Tony Furiello,
Oh, yes.
CPC. It's an amazing book. Let me just bring this up close here. It's a gorgeously
He's done
illustrated book.
He's done some additional work actually.
Yeah, he's
In the past few years, he's done some really good stuff. I really like Tony. He's amazing person.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Do we know if he's doing anything? He's still doing stuff at the Pride Center.
I'm not sure.
No. I think he's really more, I think, Hartford area based.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, where were we? Oh my God, your friend. Is his name Tony too? We met him at the Bear Weekend.
Oh yes, Tony.
Tony,
Yes.
who also happened to had at one point in time worked for True Colors.
True Colors.
We need to have him come and sit with us. Oh my God.
Wait, is this the one?
No, not your
no.
Tony, not that Tony.
Oh.
So.
Tony.
Tony,
Another Tony.
let me tell you, this guy is nothing but like a hunk of love.
He's a big bear. He's amazing.
Oh, he's amazing. He's a big bear. We need to have him come sit with us. He listens to our show, and he says that half the time he's like, he wants to come here and set the record straight because he disagrees sometimes with us, with everything we all say, and he wants to fight with us
not
all
everything,
with
but
words.
He's caused some stuff, like Hans does. Correction, it should be this, you know?
Right.
And he's like, you were wrong about something, and I wanted to correct it. I was like, please do.
You should have.
Fucking call the show. There's a fucking phone number.
334-429-8255. No, but
Can of worms.
we have to have him come and sit with us.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to meet him when we went up to Connecticut, Mr. Connecticut Bear. Is that what it was?
CT Bear, yeah.
CT Bear. And this was at the Shayas in Hartford.
Yep.
It had been a while since I had seen a lot of faces in the Hartford area, but I had a very good time, and he was super chill. So we have to have him come on the show.
I was doing Chicago, wasn't I? I don't know what
You were doing somebody. I don't know if it was in the city of Chicago or wherever you were doing somebody.
She is tired.
Somebody was getting done.
That's all I've got to say about that. All right. Well, listen, ladies and gents, we've been rambling for an hour. So thank you for allowing us to take space in your ear. But we do have to wrap it up. So I'm going to toss it over to my bitch.
Hold on.
Oh, you got stuff?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
All right. So we haven't
Camera's right there.
We haven't had. I don't want to fucking care about the fucking camera. We haven't had Dr. G on the show for a while. He hopefully will be on next month. As everybody knows, we, switch to monthly, from monthly to every couple of months. But we did get a Christmas gift. We got a daddy hat, which
I'm wearing for you.
Mm-hmm.
What does the hat say? I can't read.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.
But the meaning behind take it easy.
Means don't ram it in, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Talk to your
Yes, I
bottom,
definitely-
motherfucker. Talk
Yeah,
to
talk
him.
to your bottom.
If
Yeah.
he's saying ow, slow it down. Add more lube. We got the bedside towel.
I call it a cum rag. But go
Okay.
ahead.
Nice.
It is 100% a cum rag.
I called Nick. I said, Nick, we got a gift. It was a hat,
Nice.
candle, and a cum rag.
The perfect sex towel for pleasure and play. Keep this lightweight towel within reach of your bed or wherever you seek to play for cleanup anytime.
I love it.
All right.
All
Handy
right.
cleanup
And then
for
of
the handy
course,
homo.
we got the
cog-
bedside manner candle.
That's the candle we talked about. the
It
last-
smells so good.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's a
cannabis
rousing blend of citrus, clove, and cedar.
and cedar. Oh my god, I love it. Smell that.
So the
Smells good.
reason I bring
Can
this
I
up,
borrow that cum rag? No.
so the reason I bring this up is because while these are all really amazing, sweet gifts that we received from Future Method and Dr. G's team, this is actually born out of a new partnership that he started, which when we have him back on, we'll talk more about it. But basically, it's a partnership with a group called, and I'm probably going to say this wrong, I think it's SIECUS, Sex Ed for Social Change, and it stands for Sexual Information and Education Council of the United States. So basically, Future Method has partnered with this organization. It's a nonprofit organization, and this nonprofit organization helps promote sex ed for not only heterosexual couples, but also provide education for individuals in the LGBTQ plus community, including safer anal practice sex, which is really amazing. But again, as it is the season of giving, you can go to futuremethod.com and purchase 1, 2, or all 3 of these items, and 20% of all the proceeds are going to this nonprofit, and they're going to help inform and educate educators around the country, institutions around the country, to help with more informed and more in-depth sex education for the LGBTQ plus community, which, as we know, is so super important because we grew up and we heard about how to put a condom on a banana. You
Hello.
heard about men and women having sex, and then they told you every 1 in 10 persons were going to be gay. That's pretty much all you got. We had no sex education, and sex education is so important. It helps with, sex health. It helps with STD prevention. It helps with just taking care of yourself and knowing like your body and how to actually like have proper safe sex. Safe sex is not just about wearing a condom, because you have to protect your body, because if you're doing things that could hurt your body, you can cause long-term problems. So again, just check it out. We'll put the link on our post tonight. And again, we'll have him on our show to talk about these products and what they're going to support soon. But it's a worthwhile cause. So again, 20% of the proceeds are going to this amazing nonprofit organization. So I just wanted to share that with everybody.
And I think I just put the website up there for
Yeah.
SIECUS.
So I just wanted to share that with everybody before.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and
close out the
I'm
show.
excited because I think it'll be something really good to have a conversation with Dr. G. We're looking forward. I miss his face, I really do. I think the great doctor's awesome, and but yeah,
Our G spot needs some attention.
yes, it does. My G spot is on point, Dr. G. I'm going through a transformation over here.
Over her.
So anyway, Trisha Yearwood, is it your turn?
Yeah, I guess.
Should I give you love?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Here's Mama Kim's Minute number 1. Wrigley's Gum released a sweet lesbian ad. Then hundreds of people filed official complaints.
Of course they did.
Number 2, mother in tears as she testifies that Ron DeSantis is ripping her family apart. Not surprised. 3, discard bans. Does anybody know about Discard?
Discard? No.
It's a social media app, which I have no idea what it is. But Discard bans misgendering and dead naming in update to hateful conduct policy.
Hateful conduct policy. Okay. And so Discard. I don't know about this card, but I know that there's a new social media, gay social media thing called Archer.
Oh yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah, pretty good. But yeah, good for them. Bravo.
Was that the website Tony was gonna send us an invite for? No, that was something else.
I don't know. Well, we need to communicate with him and be like, sit with us.
Yeah.
Come talk to us. Maybe in the new year.
Yeah.
Maybe when we come back, the first episode
For
of
sure.
2024. I can't believe I'm saying that.
I know.
2024. Time flies when you're on Prozac.
Round the block.
Around the block. All right, Jay Bird.
Shit. Okay.
Off to you.
Let me do this best as I can because I left my glasses and I'm flying blind.
All right.
On this day in gay history, brought to you by GayTalk 2.0, 2 transgender rights activists attacked the year
2008.
2008. 20 already. Where in Honduras. The activists were doing an HIV/AIDS outreach work in what?
Tegucigalpa.
Tegucigalpa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tegucigalpa. The
There
attack
you
is part of a string of slayings and other violent anti-LGBT attacks in the late 2008 and 2009 in Honduras.
Wow.
Crazy.
It's
but,
amazing to think
yeah.
that, here we are,
well,
not too long later, and we're still, going through some of
kinda
the same
sorta
old shit.
dealing
All
with- Yep.
right, you don't have your glasses. You want me to keep going?
I'll give it a try.
You got
See
it?
how
All
well I
right.
can do.
Oh,
And
she's like
moving
bitching
on to
at
our
you.
announcements. I gotta do what I gotta do. I came in late. Might as well do my job.
And he showed up with an opener.
With an opener.
And it's a good one. We're going to save it for our January episode.
So, if you love the show, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting service. By subscribing, you get the latest and greatest of our show delivered right to your favorite device or web browser as soon as the episode is published. You can also support us on Patreon. With Patreon, you, our listeners, can help to support the show with a pledged donation. The donations are collected monthly and can be in any denomination of $1 or more.
That's
Send
queen.
Daddy some money.
Yes.
Next week, we are going to be off, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be celebrating.
Celebrating. Well, I'm bringing Mom to the casino. Yeah, she wants to go spend my money again.
Yeah, we'll
And I have to choose Wednesdays because, so in order for my mother
easiest.
to be with her babies, with all her babies, because she still considers us babies. We're like 40 and 50-year-old babies. My brother's off on Wednesdays from his job. And I'm off all week, so Wednesday's the de facto day that she can spend time with her 2 boys. So we all go and play bingo together.
Oh,
That's why it happens on Wednesday. So, yeah. And then Nick is going to be away. So, I mean, we could have picked another day to do a show, but you're away. I'm at the casino. Jay Bird is probably...
Look, they're not gonna miss us.
Yeah, no.
I'll be at a wake.
Oh, on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. For my cousins, basically.
Jesus.
Supporting my cousins.
Oh, supporting. Okay.
Supporting my cousins.
Okay, just making
So,
sure.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
basically.
So that's basically what's happening.
Yeah.
That's why we're not having a show next week.
Everybody everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere. So yeah, so it's been a busy week, and I know we're trying to cut this short, but the 12th was my daughter Roxanne's birthday, the 16th was my daughter Debbie's birthday, and today is my mom. So it's been a crazy.
Well, happy birthday to all,
Yeah.
the whole family.
The whole family.
The whole family. It looks
Happy
like
birthday,
all
Mom.
of
Love
them.
it.
Before you get into that, because I know we're going to jump right into landing the plane and disembarking.
Just say it.
I just want to take an opportunity. I know that Christmas is coming to say Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays.
And happy Hanukkah for everybody
and-
the past
right.
couple weeks.
That's right. And for all of you who are celebrating, we wish you the best. Warm wishes from all of us here on Gay Talk. And to our beloved friends, our friends Hans, Mama Kim, and all of you other amazing people who have interacted or at one point or another sat with us, whether through video or on this table here with us in our studio.
On the table.
On the
Actually,
table.
you're not far off.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I've been, yeah.
Ew.
On and under.
On,
above and
under,
around.
over. Yeah. Thank you all. Just thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We just want to wish you a really amazing and healthy holiday season. I'm getting all teary. I don't know why, but we love you. So thank you. Trish.
All right, everybody. Thank you. All right, everybody, get the Future Method and all other products today. All products are doctor developed and can clean out without hurting your bum. Take confidence anywhere with the anal powder packs, and now increase your stretch goals with the 3-piece anal dilation kit. Visit futuremethod.com to purchase your life-changing bum accessories today.
Yes, Queen. Jay Bird.
Right. Where am I? Hold on. Shit.
Where's your ring?
Oh my God! It's time to put a ring on it. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. So our show is available on our website, GayTalk20.com, under audio podcast. It is also available as a free download on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and Stitcher Radio.
All right, you can find us on social media, Facebook, GayTalk 2.0, Instagram, GayTalk 2.0. You can email us at GayTalk2.0 at GayTalk20.com. Tom, it's your turn.
Give it a try. All right, ladies and gents, if you need to reach out to us, just head on over to our website. Click on the Contact Us tab located at the top of your web browser. There you can leave comments, just topics, submit a question for the cast or an individual host, and you can also call us and leave us any message, any questions.
Questions, messages, corrections,
Anything
anything
you'd like to leave us.
You can slam me. I don't care.
Yeah, you can do all of that stuff. Just leave it for us right on that voicemail. Our phone number is 334-GAY-TALK. And if you need all those digits, it is 334-429-8255. Don't forget that we do stream live every Wednesday, except next week. We'll be off at 6 p.m. on our YouTube channel for all of our Patreon subscribers. I want to thank you all for joining us on this amazing episode. Wishing you all happy holidays. Thank you, and y'all have a good night. Bye.
Happy holidays.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Gay Talk 2.0. Tune in next time for more dish.